Hey everyone, Britta Albert here. If this is your first time here, I am a transformational life coach, and my goal for this channel is to help you overcome the obstacles that are standing in the way of you living your best and most authentic life. Also, if this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell notification so that you never miss out on a future video. Share this video with somebody that you think this message could resonate with. That really helps us to continue to build this community. In today's video, I want to talk about losing our friends. But before I get into that, I want to go ahead and give a shout out from my Mourning and Loss How to Be Whole Again video. This shout out goes to Jennifer Morales. Jennifer says, "I can totally relate to this. I also lost my mother suddenly and didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye. It was a very painful time. You are very brave to tell your story, and listening to you talk through this gave me a lot of insight. I'm sorry for the loss of your mom and brother." Thank you so much, Jennifer. From somebody who's lost their mom to you, I absolutely empathize with how that feels. I know what it's like to want your mom and need your mom and not be able to have her there. I'm sorry that you also had to go through this. But at the same time, I'm glad to know that I have people like you in the world so that I know I'm not alone in this, and neither are you. And also, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you do to bring light into this world. And if anybody has not checked out Jennifer's channel, I'm going to link it in the description below, because she has the cutest channel with her little cats, and the videos, they will warm your heart and they always put a smile on my face. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for everything that you do, and thank you to everybody who comments on my videos. Y'all know I read every single one, and they really light up my day. You guys are amazing, and this community that we are building together is just so fantastic. I cannot say thank you enough. But without delay, let's get into today's topic. So I'm sure that you have figured this out by now, if you are somebody who's already out of high school, that the friends that you have as you're in your school years don't usually go with you through your adult life. Things happen, we move away, we figure out who we want to be, we go through different jobs, we completely change from who we were back in high school, as it should be. We always should be growing. But what happens when we grow apart? Well, again, this is not any shocking or new revelation to anyone. We grow apart, and that's okay. But what I want to tackle specifically in this video is, what about when life stabilizes? What about when you have gotten older and you figure out a better idea who you want to be? You have your career, you're set in what's going on in your life. And either there's some sort of catalyst that comes up, or sometimes we're completely blindsided and we have no idea why a friendship or relationship ended. What do we do in those times that we are absolutely unprepared for the end of a friendship? First thing to ask yourself is, do you know why? Most of the time we have a pretty good reason why. Now it depends on what the catalyst is. Say for example, if they just had a baby and it's their first child. If you've ever had a child before, you know how hectic and chaotic life gets. And for somebody who doesn't have a child, to have a friend who does have a child, especially if it's their first child, the dynamic is completely different. The life goals are completely different. The priorities are completely different. And all friendships, they take a back seat to anything that's going on in the life of the person who has a child. Say somebody moves, they get a different job. Anytime where there's a big life change, that can be a catalyst for a friendship ending as well. So what do all of these catalysts have in common? They're major life changes and events that have nothing to do with the friendship itself. So with these situations, with these life situations that happen and create catalysts of change, they are things that we can easily understand and we can digest and we can be okay with in and of ourselves, because we have an answer, we have an idea of why. But what happens when the reason why is something that's not necessarily a fault, but it's something about a change in yourself? that feels like an attack on yourself. What I'm getting at with this is, say for example, your belief system changes. Either you discover spirituality, you discover religion, or your life takes a completely different approach and you reject the things that you were raised in. You reject spirituality or you reject religion. And the people in your life, they don't understand nor agree with your lifestyle. Say you're somebody who's come out of the closet and you're part of the LGBTQ community. Hopefully your family is going to be supportive and hopefully your friends are going to be supportive, but that's not the case with everybody. So sometimes the catalyst of change is our own truths that we claim and we share with other people. So what does it mean for you when you are the catalyst of change? It can be frustrating and it can be sad and upsetting. Losing a friendship or losing a relationship, it's not something that we ever want. But at the end of the day, is that person on your same path? Do they want the same things that you want? Or at the very least, are they creating an environment that is conducive for your personal growth? If they don't apply to any of those things, they're going to end up holding you back. And then you have a decision to make based upon what you want for your life and what you're willing to sacrifice for their friendship. At the end of the day, if they're not after the same things that you're after, and they're not going to encourage you to go after the things that you want, they're going to hold you back or they're going to tell you you can't do it and give you all the reasons why. Is sacrificing your truth for their friendship really the best thing for you? If they're not going to pay your bills and they're not going to take care of you, what value does their word have for your truth and your future? Does their approval pay your bills? It doesn't. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and shove your truth in people's face, shove it down their throats, say, this is who I am, accept me, take me, or leave me. For some people, maybe you feel like you have to do that. And if you do it. Understand there's consequences with it, but if you feel like that's what you have to do, go do it. But that's not really what I'm advocating here. You can be your truth. You can live your truth. You can claim your truth with grace, dignity, love, and respect. And then the third way that friendships may end is, in many opinions, including my own, one of the hardest, if not the hardest. And that's the not knowing. Not knowing why a relationship ended. Not knowing why a friendship ended. One day and you wake up and they're not returning your calls anymore. One day you come home from work and all of their things are gone. How do you make that make sense? We don't always have the benefit of closure. We don't always get the dignity of an explanation. But we still control our outlook on ourselves and we still control our outlook on our lives. What does that mean for you in moving forward? And knowing who you are, knowing your truth, and moving on. It's impossible to take a quantum leap from a place of low energy to instantly a place of authentic high energy. But there are steps that you can do to help you. Say, for example, if you're stuck in a place of guilt, if you're a people-pleasing person, but yet you didn't actually do anything to cause this situation. You have this guilt upon you, even though you didn't do anything wrong. You have this sadness of what you could have done better, and then you start to beat yourself up and make it your fault. There's a lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence. It doesn't matter where it's stemming from. You are the one who's beating yourself up when it's not your place. So there are some times where it's important to be selfish, to get yourself out of this place of low energy to where you can be happy again, to where you can realize that you are whole and you always have been whole. So ask yourself, what feels more empowering? Guilt or anger? Anger. When we feel anger, we feel propelled forward. When we feel guilt, we're holding ourselves back. Now, I'm not telling you to stay in this place of anger. And this might sound counterintuitive for how much I talk about the victim mentality. It in and of itself is merely an emotion. And when you're talking about raising your vibration and raising your level, your frequency to joy, happiness, peace, the things that we all strive for, if you're down here and you want to be up here, you have to take steps towards it. So sometimes anger, which is still a lower energy, is still a step above guilt. And then what's above anger? Frustration. And then you work your way up the scale in this vortex of emotions to then you can get to peace, tranquility, understanding, confidence, self-love. And it's okay to take those steps as long as you're continuing to move forward. Don't get stuck in that anger. Don't live there. Sometimes you might need to be there for a day or so. People will say, oh, you're not supposed to feel angry. Well, they don't know how to process emotions in a healthy way. What your goal is to pick realistically emotions that you can feel gradually up the scale so that you can then feel whole again. Now, whether that's the stages of grief or whether it's your own way, your unique emotions. That's why everybody says everybody grieves differently. Yes, you have these certain stages of loss and grief, but you still have to be true to who you are and feel what you're feeling. When you try to suppress it or pretend like it's not there, or you try to bury it because you're being told that you're not supposed to feel this way. It's not okay to feel this way. You shouldn't act that way. You shouldn't think that way. You shouldn't feel that way. When you try to push it away, it's just gonna come right back up again with a vengeance. It might wear a different hat. It might call itself by a different name, but it's not going anywhere. So the fastest way that you can get through that, the easiest way that you can get through that, is to allow yourself to feel the things that you need to feel and continually take a step up and be gracious with yourself and understand that's what you're doing. You're in the process. And accept the fact that you may never know what the reason for the end of that relationship or friendship was, but know that you're whole regardless. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to blame others. Wow, that's not what we're taught in school. But you don't live there. You don't stay there forever. And you don't claim that as your ultimate truth. Those emotions are your stepping stones to get you from a lower vibration to that higher vibration. I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Again, if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell notification so that you never miss out on a future video. I would love an opportunity to talk with you. I want to go ahead and extend a free 60-minute definition session where you and I will actually have a phone conversation and we can really define what it is that's standing in the way of you living your best and most authentic and successful life. Together, we're going to create a plan of action to help you overcome those obstacles and get you living the life of your dreams. I'll include that link below. You'll just hit that link, it'll pull up my calendar, schedule a time that works for you, and we'll talk soon. Right here, you're going to see a video that YouTube recommends for you based upon your search history. Right here, you're going to find my most recent video, and this face right here, if you click that, you'll be subscribed to this channel. I'll see you next time.